So welcome to Ego the Skill Provider. In this particular video lesson, I'm going to tell you something more about idiom. So we have already gone through part one, that is idioms based on transportation. The second one, I have given you something called war based on war and conflict. And today, the third day. And perhaps this is the last day of this week, Friday. And Monday onwards, we are going to start something called a new topic. So basically, idiom has the power, try to underline the word. It has the power to transform you from an ordinary speaker to an advanced speaker. Suppose you say, I am happy. The moment you say, I am on cloud nine, you suddenly transform yourself to an advanced speaker. So that's why idiom is quite important while trying to construct a sentence. And why it is important, believe me, my friends, like we have something called tense and time. That's the basic level. That is when we are trying to go through speaking pyramid. So this is called tense and time, the first one. The second one is called collocation. Collocation is an extension process of how to rectify the mistake in spoken English, because we are not going to give you grammar lesson. If you don't know grammar lesson, how can you learn whether it is right or wrong? So it is an extension process of whether something, whatever you are trying to speak, whether it is wrong or right, then you can find out through, something called collocation. And collocation is just like, rectifying your mistake. Whenever you have mistake, then you can rectify the mistake, or some errors you can easily rectify through collocation. And the third one is called vocabs. Vocabs are called the raw building block of your spoken English. Suppose you are trying to construct a sentence. So you need vocabulary. Suppose I'm just suppose I say I am speaking. I am speaking. Three words are there. All are called vocabs. All are called vocabs. So if you don't know vocabs, upon the vocabulary ଜାଣିବେନି, then how can you speak? Suppose ଏଇଟା ମୁଁ ଏଇଠି ରଖିଛି. If I don't know, this is called on. If I say this is on my head, so on is a vocabs. So you have to know a lot of vocabs. Vocabs is not only knowing just big and advanced words, even small words you should know, right? So on is a preposition, but it is a kind of vocabs. Vocabs means anything and everything. It is the small unit of a sentence. What is the small unit of a sentence? Word. So if you don't know word, then how can you make a sentence or construct a sentence while speaking? So that's why idiom has a special advantages as compared to others. Idiom is a group of words. It's a group of words which refers to a particular situation. Which refers to a particular situation. If you know the situation and if you know idiom, you can easily use that. Okay. So this is the part 3. I'm going to take you through something called idiom based on myth and history. What is myth? Let me, this make this one. Then I'll tell you what is myth. And this is something called myth. So what is myth? Believe me, my friends, myth means traditional belief. Upon agur gote traditional belief system achi. There is something called belief systems in your mind, right? So that is something called like myth. Suppose you are waking up in the morning and suppose you are going somewhere else. In the meantime, a cat passes through across on whenever trying to go. So do you think it is unauspicious? What a ବିରାଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଆଗରେ ପାସ୍ କରୁଛି ତ ଆପଣ ଭାବୁଛନ୍ତି ଲାଇକ୍ ନଟ୍ ଆଜି ଅଶୁଭ ହେଇଗଲା ବୋଲି. So where it has been written, it is something called myth. Myth means it is a traditional belief. ଆପଣଙ୍କ ବାବା ବିଲିଭ କରୁଥିଲେ, ଆପଣ ବିଲିଭ କଲେ, ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଛୁଆ ମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆପଣ ଯୋଉ ଅନୁସାରେ ଶିଖେଇଲେ, they are going to believe that. So myth is something called related to a belief system, traditional belief system. This is something called a traditional belief. So many myths are there. This is something called mythological or mythological. So this is something called myth and history. Okay. So there is so many history I am going to teach you and something called a myth. Okay. So the first one, this is the first one. Achilles heel. What is Achilles heel? Achilles heel means the only weak point. Suppose I'll ask Manas sir, what is your weak point? Then he says, sir, I really, believe others. I really believe others very easily. So that is your Achilles point. Achilles heel. This is something called Achilles heel. Try to pronounce it correctly. This is something called Achilles heel. Achilles heel means the weak point, right? This is something called the weak point. Suppose I can say math is my Achilles heel. Means I'm weak at math. Whenever I'm weak in math, I can say math is my Achilles heel. Suppose you don't like spoken English. You can say, sir, something called Achilles heel, like spoken English is my Achilles heel or was my Achilles heel. Achilles heel means my weak point. You are not good at in something. Then you can say it is your Achilles heel. Or you just that particular things put you a lot of trouble. ଯେମିତି ମୁଁ କହିଲି ଯେ ଆପଣ କାହାକୁ ଅତି ସହଜ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ନେଚର ଅଛି ଆପଣ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ସହଜରେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିଯାଆନ୍ତି ତ ଆପଣ ଯେହେତୁ ସହଜରେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରିଯାଆନ୍ତି ତା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ଅସୁବିଧାର ସମ୍ମୁଖୀନ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି so that is you can say that believing others easily is my Achilles heel. Okay, suppose ଆପଣଙ୍କର mathematics ହଉନି you can say mathematics is my Achilles heel. So Achilles heel means weak point. Just check it out. I think this party has a great future, but corruption is their Achilles heel. So Achilles heel means weak point. It's the only weak point. They have everything is good. Suppose ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଛୁଆକୁ ଆପଣ ସଦାବେଳେ ଭଲ କହୁଥିବେ ବଟ୍ ତାର ଗୋଟେ କାମ ହଉଛି ସେ ମାନେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ନ କହି କୁଆଡେ ମଝିରେ ପଳେଇ ଯାଉଥିବ. The disobedience is his Achilles heel. It's good at study, but sometimes he is not obeying me. That is his Achilles heel. That's the weak point only, right? So in place of weak point, you can use the word called Achilles heel, and that sounds pretty good. Something called you become an advanced speaker. That's what I'm going to tell you, my friends. The moment you are trying to learn something and you become an advanced speaker, that is something called the power of idiom. Okay. The second one is called Pandora's box. Open Pandora's box. You can say open Pandora's box. What is Pandora's box? Look, something that creates a lot of new problems which you are not expected. एमती गोटे जिनस जोटा कि अनेक गुड़िए प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करूची किंतु आपण जानि नथिले से प्रॉब्लम हो बोली. Let me give an example. COVID-19. आपण जानछन्ती COVID-19 started in China and it spread everywhere just like a wildfire. କିନ୍ତୁ ତା ଦ୍ୱାରା ଏତେ ଗୁଡା ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ହବ ବୋଲି ଆପଣ କେବେ ବି ଭାବିଥିଲେ ନେବ. There is something called weekend shutdown. There is something called lockdown. There is something called social distancing. A word because of corona, because of COVID-19, you have learned it. You don't know what is shutdown. आमे जानथिले 144 गोटे धारा अछि जोटे किछि गोटे जागा रे भद्रक भद्रक रे हम ओडिसा रो बेसी समय रे सड़क whenever there is a disharmony among various sects of people तो सेही समय रे 144 धारा हम सेक्शन 144 बा 144 धारा धारी होतिला जोटे कि समस्त घर रहया पे बाध्य करा जाता. But we are good. But in COVID-19 period, you can check it out that everybody has to be stay at home. That is something called required by the government, by the national government, by Odisha government, that was shut down. That is something called lockdown. So, a lot of problems happens. A lot of people have lost their father, somebody lost their wife, somebody lost their husband, a lot of things happens. So you never imagine that. ଆପଣ କେବେ imagine କରିନଥିଲେ ଏତେ ଗୁଡାଏ ଯିବ ବୋଲି. But think just like a disease, just like it will go. But look at the kind of devastation it caused, the kind of destruction it caused. Exactly. You can say that COVID-19 opened a Pandora's box for the entire population. Something what they call demonetization, like happens all of a sudden, the Prime Minister announced that demonetization is going to stay. That means all your old currency will be out of circulation. If you are keeping for at least 24 days or like 30 days, it will be completely invalid. There was a panic rush. You can check it out. There was a panic rush. Everybody take out the old currency and there is a huge line in ATM centers. You can check it out in banks everywhere. Why? ଆପଣ ତାର जो consequence କେବେ ଭାବିଥିଲେ? You never thought that. So exactly The latest action by the finance minister has opened a Pandora's box. Anything. तामाने आपण जोटा करि दियंती तार गोटे प्रभाव एते जोरे रहिबो आपण जान नथन. So that is something called Pandora's box. Okay, let me explain everything, then I will take your question. Something called Midas touch. What is Midas touch? Midas touch means it is the ability of the person to make money in any situation. Whatever may be the situation, if you are going there, you have the capacity to make money. Or there is an unsuccessful person, there is an unsuccessful entity, there is some unsuccessful organization, there is an unsuccessful business, and with your Midas touch, if your touch means with your involvement, if that particular entity converts into a profitable unit, then this is called Midas touch. One छोटे example देबी. Suppose मानस सांकर गोटे होटल बिजनेस अछि, से होटल बिजनेस चलिलानी. So मानस सर भाबुथिले like I can sell it off, I can sell it off. So what I did, I said no sir, don't sell it off, please hire me, and I will turn it around. I will turn it around. माने मु ताको लॉस रु प्रॉफिट करे देबी. So actually that exactly happened. Then Manas sir can say, with Prasanna sir's Midas touch, my loss making business becomes a profitable one. So that's I have written. It was his Midas touch which has made this venture successful. Ventures means business unit, any business. Suppose look, you go the skill provider is a business unit, it is running also. We have a very small unit, we have very small employees. There are a lot of business are there huge numbers of employees are there, but they are going on loss. Okay, but with the Midas touch, you are trying to make it convert into something called a successful venture. So that is called Midas touch. Look, it was his Midas touch which has made his venture successful. Okay, and the fourth one is called, it is something called Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic, something called Pyrrhic victory. What is Pyrrhic victory? Look, don't worry for the words. Try to understand. You have the capacity. You can use such words in your day-to-day life. You become an advanced speaker over the night. So that's the positive thing. Don't be dejated. Oh my God. I can say it is my weak point. Why should I say it is my Achilles heel? That's the beauty. ଆପଣ ଯୋଉଠି କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, suppose Manas sir is a renowned international chef, he is always working with 5-star hotels. So ସେଇଠି ଅନେକ ଗୁଡିଏ like there are so many international persons will come. Suppose that time he is going to use this kind of words, they will look at him, wow, he is speaking really good English. They are definitely going to take. Prabhama is just like working with an international NGO, he is just like a research analyst there. So whenever you are trying to use this kind of words with the foreign delegates, wow, it is going to create, something called tremendous impression. So that's why you have to create yourself. It's not about kichi nahi. You have to create yourself. Your mentality is going to create yourself. So there is nothing called I am in Mumbai or I am in Bhubaneswar, I am in anywhere. We are delivering the content. It is something called the mentality, the mindset. So you have to change your mindset. That I am learning something. I know weak point. Something called I know weak point. So let's use a new word. That is something called accuracy. You are not writing. So there is a mistake in spelling. You are speaking only. Just remember, speak. This is something called accuracy. Accuracy means weak point. Pandora's box. Something that creates a lot of problems. Midas touch. It's the ability to make money or to convert an unsuccessful venture into a successful one. And something called a Pyrrhic victory or Pyrrhic victory. What is Pyrrhic victory? Pyrrhic victory means a victory that comes at a great cost. आपण ते ओडिया रे कहले आपण बुझी परिबे. देखंतु एकदा हमर गोटे पूर्व कलिंग जोटा हमें कहूचे कलिंग रे गोटे युद्ध होइतिला. मगध राजा अशोक आसी एठी आक्रमण करथिले. आ दया नदी आमे सुनिचे बा इतिहास बक्षर लेखा अछि जे दया नदी पानी पूरा रक्त माने रक्ताक्त हो जाइतिला. काई ना एते लोकଙ୍କୁ ସେମାନେ मर्डर करथिले. तो एक्चुअली सेटा दया नदी पूरा माने रक्त हो जाइतिला सेही माने जुआड देखियो रक्त हो जाइतिला. सो लेट मी टेल यू तो अशोक तो विन कले किंतु इट वाज ए पिरिक विक्ट्री माने एटा गोटे रियल विक्ट्री नथिला. जणको आपण हानि की ता ऊपर विक्ट्री करबा दैट नो मीनिंग. सेमती धरंतु मानस सार सरपंच रे छिड़ा हेबा पे चाहउछंती, मु भी सरपंच रे छिड़ा हेबा पे चाहउ. मु देख मानस सार देखिले वर्तमान नाही प्रशंसा सार बहुत सपोर्टर अछंती तो से हारि जिवे से भाबिले तो सी किसी गुंडा लगे मत हॉस्पिटलाइज करदे तो आई एम इन द हॉस्पिटल आई कैनॉट रोम इन द एरिया कैंपेन मु करि परिबिनी तो कैंपेन न कला परे ऑब्वियसली तांका आडू लोक ढळले तो से जीती गले बट इट वाज अ पिरिक विक्ट्री कारण से रियल विक्ट्री नथिला ही डिड सम मिस्टेक विथ मी एंड इट वाज गोटे छलना करबा जोटा that is a victory that comes at a great cost. That is something called Pyrrhic victory. Okay. So the victory of King Ashoka over Kalinga was a Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhic victory means not real victory. It really comes at a great cost. Okay. Let me go to the second part. Then I will take a question. Something rest on one's laurels. Once means you, me, everybody. You can you in place of once. You can your mind, everything. So what is the meaning of that? To be satisfied with the past success. Upon past success super बहुत satisfied also, but not doing anything that to achieve more. Suppose I got a first class in suppose I am a 10th class student. So I have two exams happens. The first exam I have done wonderfully well, but I am not doing anything. I say I got first class. Why should I do? Then that means I am not looking forward. ଯେମିତି ଆପଣ ଆଗରୁ କିଛି ଇନକମ୍ କରିଥିଲେ ଏବେ କିଛି କରନ୍ତୁ. Why you are relying on the past success? Just like India did the same things. India lost the match because they rest on their laurels. What do you mean by that? They are very much satisfied with their old success, past success. आज पर्यंत टूर्नामेंट रे खेलिकी से सेमीफाइनल पर्यंत पळैथिले तापर सेमानकर बहुत आसीगला किंतु आगु केमति जितिबा तांकर किछि रहिला नै so that is something called to be satisfied with the past success आपनकर past success रे आपन very much satisfied but you are nothing doing or you are doing nothing to achieve further success like बाकी सपोज आपनकर गोटे छुआ धरନ୍ତୁ प्रभा मैडमकर छुआ से कोन करछोंती ना से गोटे पाठ पढछोंती गोटे एक्स स्टैंडर्ड रे कि मानस सारकर पढुछोंती से कहे बाबा आ वर्तमान मो परीक्षा रे भलो करछि गुड अबे पढ़े परीक्षा तो भलो करछि अरे सेटा सिना पूर्वर भलो करथिलु एबे आगु जो परीक्षा अछि how do you are going to ensure that you will do the good in that year also because you have to work hard so that is some called rest on laurels if you want to give them advice you can say don't rest on your laurels don't rest on your laurels that means don't be satisfied with your past success do something to progress further in your life okay the sixth one this is something called parting shot look the final remark or critical comment or unpleasant remark at the end of a conversation आमे प्रतिदिन ए जिंसटा मु टिके आपनको डेमो दे कि बुझे दउची सपोज मानस सर कर मोर कथाटा हो yesterday I had a talk or today I had a talk with Manas sir so Manas sir sir good morning केमति अछंती लाइव started after okay sir fine bye sir so bye the parting shot bye is the parting shot धरंतु मोर आ तपन बाबूकर झगड़ा हिची तो मु तपन बाबू को मु आपन को देखिनेबी मु आपन को देखिनेबी कहि मु पळै गेली so that is something called the parting shot so parting shot can be good can be bad can be unpleasant anything like that suppose मु ट्रेन रे जाउची मो बाबा मते छाडिया पे आस्थिले he is going to send me off so that time my father tell okay fine भलरे जीवो देखि कि जीवो टिके केयर नथु ट्रेन रे बहुत चोर अछन तो टिके केयर नबो चोर अछन that was his parting shot the parting shot mean the final remark the final comment that can be unpleasant that can be serious that can be anything and how he can use it in the as his parting shot as my parting shot as Manasar's parting shot as Prabhamam's parting shot so as will be there in the beginning of the sentence as her parting shot as his parting shot as my parting shot as your parting shot like that आपन केमति कहबी से दिन गला मत तू या कहि नथलु how can you say as your parting shot you threatened me that day as your parting shot आपन कहितले मु देखि नै दते तो आपन केमति कहिबी unless until no so that's a great way to express yourself so believe me if you know a lot of things like this you are able to express yourself and that's the beauty of spoken English it's not about learning a lot of things गोटे वर्ड जानिबे ताकू यूज करी that's all okay so parting shot means the final remark or critical comment or unpleasant remark at the end of a conversation other parting shot she informed me not to make phone to her. Other parting shot my last reminder thila mate au tome phone kariboni. So that is as our parting shot. He informed me not to make a phone call. Suppose आज Manas sir's parting shot. He say good night sir, like that. Good night was his parting shot, like that. Okay. The next one, epic proportions. What is epic proportions? Very great in size or importance. So whenever I say importance, you can say epic proportion means of utmost importance, very important, very crucial. So we can say a match of epic proportion will be played on Sunday. Obviously, Sunday is the ICC T20 World Cup final, and England takes on Pakistan in the final. Whoever is the team, but it is an ICC event, and a lot of viewership will be there, and there will be big prizes. So you can say that is a match of epic proportion. A match of epic proportion will be played on Sunday. Epic proportion means very great in size or importance, right? A match of epic suppose ଆପଣଙ୍କର କାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଦିନଟା ହଉଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କର yesterday କାଲି ଯୋଉ ଦିନ ଗଲା ସେଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ important day ଥିଲା. You can say it was a day of epic proportion for me. Or yesterday you cannot use at the beginning because that is an adverb. You can say the day was an epic proportion for me. It was the day of epic proportion for me, like that. Okay. Day of epic proportion means very great in size or importance. And the last one is called make one's hair stand on end. ଆପଣ ଦେଖିଥିବେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଭୟ ହେଇଯାଏ ସେ ସମୟରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଲୋମ ଟାଙ୍କୁଳି ଉଠେ. That happens with everybody. That is our science. I am called ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଲାଇଫ୍ ରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ହଉଛି. So this is something called make one's hair stand on tails, on ends. To make someone very frightened. Whenever you are very much frightened, you are very much fearful, whenever you are something, you are afraid of something, obviously say somebody upon lomoda temple, that is something called make one's hair stand on end. That you can say, it was a terrifying movie. It was a terrifying movie. And it made my hair stand on end. Look, I can say about suppose my brother. Oh, it was a really frightful day for my brother. It made his hair stand on end. My ଜାଗାରେ his ଲଗେଇବେ ଯଦି ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଅଛି they are ଲଗେଇବେ. So like that. So makes one's end means to make somebody very frightened so that he is very much afraid, and that because of that this is something called one hair stand on end, like that. But this is something called you don't use that much of things, the last one, because this is something little bit difficult while trying to use, because stand on end something is not coming very naturally. But let me tell you, my friends, when it is comes to Achilles heel, Pandora's box, Midas touch, Pyrrhic victory, something called rest on one's laurels, parting shot, epic proportions. At least these 7 things you can use in your day to day life, and it is going to give you something called the kind of depth whenever you are trying to speak English. And this is something called all about for this class.